your dreams.
Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another Genshin Impact video, and today we're going to talk about what I love about Fontaine. By the way, if you happen to like the content, feel free to leave a like and subscribe. So on my last video, I described why I loved the story of Fontaine so much, and now I'm going to be describing why I love Fontaine right now. I think Fontaine probably has the best soundtrack in any of the regions. Before Fontaine, I thought Liyue had the best soundtracks, but Fontaine's soundtracks has blown me away. The overworld theme from either in the land or in the sea is pretty great. It's pretty calming. Kind of makes me feel like I'm playing like a turn-based RPG or something. It takes place like in a fantasy setting. The battle soundtracks are also pretty great as well. They kind of sound like something you would hear in like Pokemon X or Pokemon Y or something. The music has been pretty top tier, and I've been loving the underwater exploration. I was actually not really looking forward to the underwater exploration because I figured maybe miHoYoverse might fuck that up, but they actually did a pretty good job with it. The combat is pretty simple, right? You can still kind of like normal attack with stuff with like a weird small whip of a string, but the underwater powers that you get are pretty awesome as well. There's like a shield power which you can create a shield and hit an enemy, and you can also like deflect an enemy's attacks. There's also a slice power up and you can have in which you can just slice things. There's also an echo power up in which you use like echolocation like as an attack, which is pretty cool. The power ups are pretty good. They're used to solve puzzles. You use the shield power up to break through walls and also to stop underwater currents. You use the slice power up to slice through vines in order to get through a location or to free things that have been trapped by the vines. And the sonar power up is used to interact with like seashells or something. I think they did a pretty good job with the underwater exploration. It's not very quick, but it's not slow either. It's kind of a normal pace. You don't have to worry about stupid stuff like drowning in the water or collecting air bubbles in order to prevent yourself from drowning. It's basically just a smooth underwater experience. There are also enemies that you can fight underwater with the power-ups. I think at one point I encountered like a large crab boss that had a lot of HP and was also kind of like a pain to defeat. This underwater exploration makes me a little hyped for future Fontaine areas that we will unlock later, because I do hope that other areas in Fontaine will use this underwater exploration feature. It's kind of a shame that this underwater exploration is only available in Fontaine. Like if you go to other regions and swim around, you still have the standard stamina, but in Fontaine you get the underwater stamina. Who knows, maybe after we're done with the store in Fontaine, maybe we'll be able to swim like all over Teyvat or something, but then again, I have no idea how much of a possibility that would be, because this underwater exploration feature has some pretty good potential if it could be unlocked like in other regions. For instance, we know that Enkanomiya is technically underwater, so maybe Enkanomiya could get like a little expansion or something like that's literally like underwater. But I am not a lore head in Genshin, so I don't know how much of a possibility that could happen. Future events can also utilize this underwater exploration. We could have events that are basically just underwater using the underwater abilities, possibly even combat-based events underwater. miHoYoverse can come up with tons of events that involve being underwater. It would also be pretty cool to have like maybe like a permanent feature that's like underwater. Maybe they can have domains that are like underwater and like you explore the domain for treasure and stuff using your underwater abilities. And once a week, this underwater domain will be randomized. I'll have random enemies, random powers, random treasures and stuff. I don't know. I'm just coming up with stupid shit. I really like this underwater feature, and I really do hope miHoYoverse can utilize it to its full potential. But you know the saying, right? Good things can't last forever, so maybe this underwater feature will just be like a fad. Fuck it, why not just have abyss floors underwater? That would be pretty interesting to see, you know, just have an abyss floor just straight up underwater. You use your underwater abilities against enemies on a timer. Although people that didn't pull for Novelette or Freminet would probably be fucked. Anyways, this underwater feature is really cool. I do hope Hoyoverse finds some way to expand it, maybe even add new abilities along the way. They could have like an ability that like lets you dash underwater, and when you dash you can like damage an enemy, or another ability that lets you create whirlpools. I'm just, you know, throwing out ideas here. I've only encountered one boss underwater. I'm not sure if there are like any other bosses you can encounter underwater. Let me know if there are. I don't know if this underwater thing is eventually going to turn into like Subnautica. I hope it doesn't, because Subnautica was kind of scary. But it would be kind of interesting to see that in Genshin, although since Genshin is kind of like a kid's game, I don't think they'll be going like a Subnautica route. Imagine like a future Fontaine area. It's just like the midnight zone. It's dark and you see all this, you know, creepy anglerfish or whatever. It would be interesting, but I don't think Hoyoverse would do that. Alright, so that's going to be the end of this video. Let me know what you guys think about Fontaine. Do you like the underwater exploration? You like the music? You like the lore? You like the characters? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you guys later.
Bye-bye now. Come again soon.